What's up, everybody? I'm adjusting my volume and getting everything set up. By everybody, I mean all one of you watching at this moment. There's a lot of logistics, if you will. It's going to be an interesting show. I know it's a Saturday. I know that you guys and gals and demigods and non-binaries are all trying to figure out what's going on with all this stuff. But you know, what up, Darren 1320? Listen, man. I have I took some meditative advice to try to goose frog on my way through the day. Yesterday was rough. I had to debunk so many debunkers yesterday. I had to fight against so much opposition, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, when you've had a bunch of Dragon Ball Z style Super Saiyan Kamehameha battles with other people, you gotta find a way to get them sensu beans, you know what I'm saying? I needed a sensu bean or two. That's what I needed. So I got me some sensu beans, and I'm feeling lively today. I'm feeling quite lively. Watched a little bit of McWest. Watched a lot of the fallout, the media fallout, if you will, after the hearings. I have watched people in real time, right, show their tails, if you will. Show their tails by changing their tune on what they think is possible when it comes to alien life. Talking about, you know, oh yeah, of course there's alien life out there. They went from, there's no possible way there's alien life out there. It's not possible. No, it can't happen. The odds of there being life somewhere out in the universe they're slim to none. To, well, the Drake's equation says that it's possible. As a matter of fact, it's mostly probable. Take me to your leader party, people. Listen, guys, when I get a soundboard, we're gonna have so much more fun. Because I'm going to be able to do voice changing, and all my voice acting is going to be on full display. It's going to be so much fun. We'll get there, guys. Don't worry. We'll get there. I got a lot of support. You guys see my GoFundMe, so you know where I'm at when it comes to the funding. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. So I'm going to post that now. I'm going to pin it to the top now so I can get that out of the way. If you guys would like to support me, you can. And when I do have enough to get a soundboard, which again I don't know when, But when I do get a chance to get a soundboard, we're gonna be doing some fun. Listen. I can do the voice changer and all that cool stuff. Oh my gosh. There's gonna be a lot of fun to be had. Because then I can throw my voice acting in here. I can add a lot of the comedy. What's up, Bryson and Rad Peanut on YouTube, in case you don't see them. Twitch. I think that Twitch can see your comments, but you can't see theirs on YouTube. I think that's what's going on there. But yeah, again, here's my GoFundMe, and I'm gonna post my let's get this out of the way so I can focus on, because I only got 2 hours here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make this good. I got some things to say. Oh my, I've got some things to say. So you can either check me out on GoFundMe for support, or you can go to my Patreon and you can check out my Patreon. Join the Patreon to support me. Either way is fine. I would appreciate either one. Again, it helps keep me doing this stuff every single day, every day. Eventually, for much longer, which is, again, my goal is to do this for way longer. You guys realize that I don't stop whenever... What you think I'd do? I don't stop whenever this ends. When this ends, I continue my research, and because I have to keep up on so many things, I gotta communicate with so many people. There's a lot I gotta do. I can't. It's not just like come here, have some fun, talk about some things, and then okay, we'll see you tomorrow. No, it's like a non-stop thing. Plus, I'm doing interviews and friggin', roundtables this week, especially with the hearings. There's a lot of things going on. Anyway, now that's out of the way. I spent some time looking at you guys' Discord videos and links, and I found some of them interesting. The one thing I will say is Drunk Physics hit me up and sent me a video of Mick West. I was disappointed. Not at Drunk Physics, but at Mick West. I don't know why I was disappointed at Mick West. It's Mick West. Like, duh. But the fact that honestly, I've heard his arguments before, but sometimes I forget how rudimentary sometimes they seem. And this is a guy that's, he's a pretty intelligent guy, relatively, at least in this field. He's an eloquent speaker. But I don't know how he comes up. You can clearly tell that his perspective is painted by some kind of brush. He's rejecting even looking at the facts that he doesn't like, and focusing and and I've had this opinion about Mick West for a long time. He hyper focuses on the details that he can use as a retort, as a debunking, right? Oh well, if you ignore all of the other center data in the fact that these pilots have been working on these craft for 15 years, in the fact that they've been put in the positions of leadership on those aircraft carriers, and if you ignore all of the multiple eyewitness testimony, and if you ignore all of the data that is classified that we don't have access to, that paints an even bigger picture, and if you just look at the video on its own. See, look, it's a bird. Clearly it's a bird. Look. Forget about all of that. Look at the bird, everyone. And actually, I never said it was a bird. I said it was a balloon. Actually, that's my first option. My first option is a balloon. And my second option is a bird. So clearly they don't know what they're talking about if they can't even get my arguments correct. This is the level of argument that I watched for 27 minutes. Or so. Oh, look, he referenced a secondary account. How could he bring up corroborating evidence? Look at him. He's not even focusing on the issue at hand. What issue would that be, Mick West? What I said. He didn't give me attention. He didn't give my objections attention. Look what he's doing. He's proving me wrong. Why do I sound like Stewie from Family Guy? You get it. You understand. There are plenty of guys like him over here. The more you pay attention or mention him, and more status he will get. I get that, but if we ignore, listen, guys, look, I've got almost 100 followers on Twitch, not even that on YouTube. Yes, Spaced Out Radio, I've got a much bigger following, but like on my own, I'm like a nobody, guys. I'm like okay, I'm technically kind of like a very small creator. What attention can I possibly give to that man? Well, the only thing that I think is important about mentioning his name is that if we do not, it is our responsibility. Okay, it is our responsibility. I want to be someone that is a voice for truth, right? I want to be a part of that voice for truth. I want to be somebody that is known for challenging those perspectives that are clearly meant to obfuscate truths. They're clearly meant to misdirect people from truth. And I want to really face off with these perspectives that they muddy the waters, if you will, but they also discourage even looking for the truth. And they are influential to people that are skeptics themselves. It's people that are uninterested but trust someone who's a scientist. They think the degree matters. They need to hear another perspective, and they need to see someone stand up to those people. They have to see that. They have to see that. And that's what I feel like I'm doing. I'm standing up. I'm speaking truth to power, if you will. And I know that Mick West isn't the most powerful, but he has power in the public sphere. No, not Twitch. Well, that's it. That is a misunderstanding. Twitch is massive. Massive. You want to look at the data on Twitch? Hold up, my guy. Let's check out Twitch tracker. Statistics and charts, Twitch tracker. So right now, there are 3.5 million live streams right now. Twitch is trending upwards. Obviously, well, it's kind of stagnant right now. It's kind of stagnant. It's not true, but it has been trending upwards for the last 5 years, and then of course now it's stagnant, if not, bobbing at this point. Right now, it's at a massive high in comparison to the previous, few months. There's a jump, a spike for some reason, 6 million people versus the 4 to 5 million people that have been on average here. That's a lot of people that are live streaming. How many people are watching? Check the viewer count. Current viewers right now, live viewers, what is it? Wait a minute. There are 3.5 million viewers. I'm sorry. That was a mistake. How many people are live streaming? 109,000 live streamers, live channels right now. And then there are 3.5 million people, 3.6 million people that are viewing it. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. That's just right now in the middle of a Saturday. It's the middle of a Saturday. Now, normally people are here to watch video games, right? That's kind of what Twitch is about. And I'll get there eventually when I spend more time here, but this is what people are doing, man. This is what them youngins are doing. Anyway, watch time. In the month of June, there are over 1 billion views. 1.7 billion views in the month of June. April, it was 2.3 billion maxed out hours watched. This is hours. Dude, this is not just a throwaway platform. This is a very important platform to talk to people that aren't... Everybody's on YouTube. There's a different market of people that are on Twitch. Obviously, they're gamers. And then, of course, I'm streaming on both platforms. What's up, the Mac Geek? Youngin Twitch viewers. Oh, Youngin. Okay, we got the Youngin right here. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it 100. So my point is that I think it's important to speak to that, to let people hear, let them youngins hear what's going on. Let them youngins hear us fight. Bloodsport. We are the next generation of fighters. We must stand for what's right. We will conquer the obfuscation. We shall prevail over our enemies. Or should I say adversaries. They are no match for truth and justice. I will wield the Mjolnir of ufology, and like the Black Thor, I shall trudge forward and fight for you. Just for you. So, why did I do that? I'm trying to fix this audio, guys and gals. Just give me 1 sec. I'm gonna fix it. But yes, no man, like we gotta do this. We gotta do this. The reality is that, you know, if we don't do this, well, people are going to go on thinking that Mick West is the most intelligent thinker out there, and he's not. Anyway, let's continue. Let's check out some of this fallout, guys and gals and non-binaries and demigods.
Is out there. When you put it on a big screen, it actually had 2 little objects that came out of the bottom of it. But other than that, no windows, no seams, no nothing.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Non-human.
All right, real quick. I also want to highlight the fact that these people that are up there, these witnesses, have the most impeccable careers, the most impeccable education and experience when it comes to, let's just imagine that in a world where there is no alien encounters or non-human and anything, what would it look like if it were to begin to happen? Kind of like what we're seeing right now. You could imagine that if there were encounters with a non-human intelligence, for example, this is exactly what it would look like. Governments would find the tech sometimes. Sometimes they'd find, if they crash, sometimes they find the pilots. They try to find a way to communicate. There'd be some kind of communication between non-humans and them, behind closed doors to hide from the public. They find a way to, the government would find a way to keep this from the American, from the whatever public, or the powers that be would keep that information from the public, because maybe there's something scary about it. Maybe they can't handle it, whatever. You find out that they've been here for a lot longer than we think. You find out that people start coming out of the woodwork for decades and decades and decades. All the time they've been coming out. They've been talking about it for, right? Whistleblower. People are trying to sound the whistle. There's something here. Credible people would come forward. People would then there would be skeptics that make a mockery out of it. Their mockery would be very unintelligible, but it's still enough to give people something, so they don't have to think that, oh no, that there's something else out there that's more powerful. They don't like that idea. Everything that's happening right now is exactly what would be happening if we were experiencing some kind of an potentially other life in contact with human beings. It just even if you were to just look at it from a theoretical, like bird's eye or cosmic eye view, if you will, it's happening just like it would happen if it were really happening. This is it's obvious. We got the credible witnesses making the claims that there's something here. They're not just like a guy on a farm who saw a thing in the sky and thought it was aliens. They're not just a civilian who's walking down the street and sees a plane and thinks it mistakes a regular airplane because it glistens in the sun for an alien spacecraft. They're witnessing vehicles that are not aerodynamic, in Category 4 hurricanes, motionless, traveling at Mach speeds. They're witnessing vehicles or craft, if you will, that are functioning, that are sitting stationary with no flight surfaces, no control surfaces, no visible means of propulsion, no flight characteristics, non-aerodynamic, moving erratically, dropping from 80,000 feet plus, which is in space, down to 50 in less than 0.7 seconds. Right? They're not seeing birds or balloons. Hello, Project Blue Book Mick West. Oh, it must have been a balloon that was just wafting around in the wind. How much of a freaking idiot do you have to be to believe that? You have to be a complete idiot. You think that somebody is... Think about the level of, like, misperception you'd have to mistake what those pilots saw. They'd have to have so many levels of like... They shouldn't even have a job. Nobody should be a pilot. It's Swamp Gas 2.0. Thank you, Matt Geek. It's Swamp Gas 2.0. You can't be that stupid. Please. This is where this is where you get me worked up. Right? This is where you get me worked up. Now you know what I'm talking about. Mick, what? Because we're talking about people. You got David Grush, the highest classification known to the United States of America, access to over 1,000 classified programs or classified classifications or whatever. The highest classification known to for a civilian to have. He says compared to a full-blown colonel, I believe, or major, colonel, whatever, has access to all these programs, knows how to read, obviously. Can you read, Mr. Grush? Well, I used to give the Presidential Daily Briefing. I used to work for the NGO, or the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, the NGA. I used to work with G15 is a level of his qualification, but I think it's the equivalent of a he keeps saying full bird colonel or full bird major. Somebody please correct me here. I'm okay with that. But let's, like, you think he's just gonna, oops, I didn't oh, it was a bird. You have to be a complete, either you are somebody who doesn't know, which there's a difference between a person who's an everyday person. Like, let's get this clear. If you're a mom, a dad, working 9 to 5, or 5 to 5, if you will, because some people work 12 hours a day plus. You're a construction worker. Are you going to have the energy or time to look at this topic? No. No. They got us in a hamster wheel. Our society just says, let's put them all on a hamster wheel so they can't pay attention. They don't have the energy or time. Then let's give them bad foods so their brain's not even functioning properly because they don't even have the right nutrition for their body to function properly. Let's give them something that gives them neurotoxins at that. Throw some soda in there. Put some high fructose corn syrup in their food. Put some fluoride in their toothpaste. Tell them it's good for them. Put it in the water. Put some chlorine in there too. Yeah. Yeah, maybe a little bit of, maybe don't change the pipes for about 100 years. A little bit of lead gets in, just a little bit, like a little bit. So we can say it's, human beings can pretty much survive with a little bit of lead in them. Then let's go ahead and throw Mick West out there, who uses flowery British language with his British accent and that flowery language. Give him a title and have him debunk all these things. Guys, gals, demigods, non-binaries, think about it. Think about it. It's our duty to do this.
In biologics, my jaw almost hit the table when I heard that. And today,
just so you guys know, I think Matt Gaetz is a freaking monster, like a not a good person. But I don't care, cause he's talking about aliens. There's a bigger, not that aliens are monsters, but you get my point.
White House spokesman John Kirby gave a response.
MasterCard tells banks to block marijuana purchase. The freak is going on? What's going on here, man? So now that I just explained all that, you got below the screen. Now stress them out, get them on the hamster wheel, make sure they work their life to death, make sure they don't have time with their kids, make sure that their wife, that if he's married, if it's a man and he's married, that his wife or partner is cheating with the mailman because he'll never see him anyway. And then tell him that he can't have a little bit of weed at the end of the day. But I want him to be able to go to the bar, get drunk, go drive somewhere, run over a kid somewhere, and then put him in prison for the rest of his life for making a mistake because he was so stressed out. Yeah, I said it. The game is real, y'all. The game is real. You know what? What does marijuana do? Makes you hungry, happy, and horny. What does beer do? Well, it disorients you. You don't want to drive around town when you're high as a kite. Not that I understand this feeling. I'm just saying, y'all. You don't want to drive. You sit down. You roll a fat one. You blaze it up. Maybe you're a vapor, right? Maybe you get a little bit of THC vape. Maybe you're a tincture person. Maybe you like sublinguals. Okay, put a little bit of that under the tongue. And you sit back and you relax. And you watch some Criminal Minds. I'm not saying I do this. I'm just throwing this out there, all right? I'm not talking about myself. All I'm saying is you do this, right? And you're laughing. You got some cheese. You got a cheeseburger in one hand, some Chinese food in your lap, a big old Sprite, getting all that high fructose corn syrup in you. But at least you're happy. No. Grab a beer, slap your wife around, and then call it a day. That's what they want. Anyway.
So lackluster, it might read to some as an artful dodge or even part of a cover-up.
We believe is that there are unexplained aerial phenomena that have been cited and reported by pilots, Navy and Air Force, that these phenomena have, in some cases, had an impact on our training ranges, on our pilots' ability to fly, train, operate, and stay ready. That alone makes it a national security issue worth looking at.
But Mick West, they're all balloons. Obviously, they're balloons, Mr. Kirby. How could you take these pilots that have been trained to know what a craft is seriously? Look at my video game experience. Here I am playing Minecraft. See, I can tell the difference between a balloon and an actual aircraft. Look at my experience. Mick West, what do? I play video games and test them. Oh, you're a video game designer and stuff. Yes, this is why I have the qualifications to tell what the real life is. Mick West, do you know how hard it is to replicate real life physics in a video game? You mother freaking genius, you. This is why they need to stop this crap where they're blocking marijuana, because Mick West, he needs to sit in a circle with a couple of these pilots with a peace pipe. Just have it out, man. I think things would turn out very differently.
We don't know. We don't have the answers about what these phenomena are.
The White House doesn't have answers, but we have to get them. I can report exclusively to Newsmax tonight that I've joined Representative Tim Burchett, Representative Anna Paulina Luna, and Democrat Representative Jared Moskowitz in calling on Speaker Kevin McCarthy to establish a freestanding select committee of Congress to get to the bottom of this UAP issue.
What did we get out of that hearing yesterday? What did we even get out of that hearing yesterday? Bipartisan support to establish a UFO select committee. What do we even get? I want disclosure, but I don't want this disclosure. Why? I want people to tell me why. You're getting it. I want disclosure, but I just don't like the people giving it to me. What? I don't even like Matt Gaetz. He doesn't like me. You know how I know he doesn't like me? Because I've heard him talk about people that look like me. He does not. What? Who cares? I'm supporting a guy that I don't even like. And I think Matt Gaetz is a terrible human. We've talked about, listen, I got a couple of people I brand that way. If you spend your life's work trying to make people's lives miserable, you're a horrible human being. But this supersedes all of those problems that I have with him. That's what somebody does when they truly want disclosure. Put that ish aside. This is too important. Let your grievances sit on your grievances, okay? Sit on them, because this is more important than your grievances with people that you might not like in this field. I love Tim Burchett, but I can't stand AOC. I don't like her name, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I can't even pronounce it, so I don't like her, and so therefore this is all fake and it's a ruse and this is all a psyop. And Elizondo, he got a Spanish name. I don't like that either, so I just think they're all kooks now. And Jeremy Corbell, well, he's just trying to make money. Joe Westcott, I believe that you are allowed to have a different opinion. Do you believe that I am allowed to have a different opinion? That's all I have to say about that. The thing is, guys, it's like you have to put your grievances aside. Who cares? Who cares what they feel or think about politics? This is what we should focus on. This.
Representative Moskowitz joins me in this effort, and he's with me tonight. Jarrett, we need subpoena power. We need to access secure spaces. What are your burning questions after this hearing?
Well, Congressman, thanks for the opportunity. Well, I mean, listen, you were there. You listened to all of the testimony. I mean, you know, one of the most interesting questions, obviously, is that it's clear that the United States has a UAP program. And what's also most interesting is how are we funding that UAP program? I mean, we heard testimony, obviously, from Mr. Grush that the way we're funding that is a misappropriation of funds of Congress. We're overpaying for items from our contractors. And so this is all about transparency. There's clearly more information that is known. This is a bipartisan, nonpartisan, bicameral.
In the background, you can tell those are just balloons and birds reflecting. They probably have icicles on their wings right now. Then how are they flying? How are they flying? Well, let me chime in here with my video game experience. You see, if you look in the background, that's actually just a camera flare, or probably just a misidentification of birds. And the idea of the icicles reflecting off the... But McWest, I believe it's sundown. Well, actually...
Emerald, group that has come together to fight on this. As you know, Chuck Schumer in the Senate is trying to lead an effort for more transparency. So Congressman, I got a lot of information in that hearing, but I think I left with even more questions.
This one. Oh, yes, of course. Of course. It does look like a giant flat-shaped craft emerging from the clouds, but if you look closely, it's just a smidgen on the camera frame. See, we can explain it. If this is the level of evidence that they have, then they must just stop it. It's rubbish. I don't think he uses the word rubbish. I think that's a different dialect. But you get my point. Really? Look at that thing. What is that? It's probably a group of birds that their wings are together, the tip of their wings are together, and it just looks like the illusion because the plane is traveling at 500 miles per hour, and so therefore the birds may look like they're stationary, but actually the plane is circling around the birds. See, if you go on a flight, the plane will sometimes do a circle like this right here, and then get them.
And if we have to get that in a classified setting to begin, so be it.
You know,
Did that thing just rotate? Did it just like tilt? No, actually, what you've seen was that the camera actually tilted, and that tilt of the camera is what makes it gives the illusion of the object emerging from the clouds and then tilting. It's actually not moving at all. But McWest, what about the clouds? They're not moving. You see, it's all the same thing.
Mentioned the bipartisan nature of this endeavor. It certainly makes fights between Republicans and Democrats look silly if we're going to have to fight the aliens before it's all over.
You guys got to see that. No, look at this. Look at this thing. You see that? This frame right here, these 3 frames. What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? You see, actually, I've seen this before in my studies. Once I made a video game about... It's actually an illusion, if you will, probably because when they're in the sky, you see, on the plane, sometimes people, as they get higher and higher, there's less and less oxygen. And I believe what happened was that the people actually were lacking oxygen, and so therefore, that's probably what that illusion you're seeing is actually a mental projection of the cap. What is this?
If we have to get that in a classified setting to begin, so be it.
You know,
look at it tilting.
Mentioned the bipartisan nature of this endeavor. It certainly makes fights between Republicans and Democrats look silly if we're going to have to fight the aliens before it's all over. These witnesses talked about specific experiences, specific flights, reports they'd received. You were there in the room. You're an attorney. Did you find the witnesses credible?
Well, let's separate the two. So the pilots, obviously, these are fighter pilots. These are decorated veterans. These guys have exemplary records. There was no doubt that they were credible. And their interactions with these UAPs are no different than other pilots who have interactions. And you heard John Kirby admit that pilots are having these interactions with UAPs. And so I found that testimony to be very credible and obviously alarming. It's a national security interest at best. At worst, obviously, it's the United States government that is operating these UAPs potentially. Listening to Mr. Grush, obviously, there's some things that were jarring when he talked about, non-human origin bodies that have been recovered.
Sure.
But I found his testimony.
You see, I can tell you right now that if you just read a document and you can't just tell that there's aliens from a document. I mean, where is the evidence? He provided the evidence to the Inspector General, and some of which to certain members of Congress subsequently, in order to support his claims. You see, they're all just misunderstanding reports. What would convince you that there's extraterrestrial biologics, if you will? What would convince you? A video won't do it. It's not enough. Could be faked. A document won't do it. It's not enough. They could be. Maybe there's something I'm misunderstanding. But if there are several documents, videos, images, as well as witness testimony, names of programs, the finances behind these programs, if you're getting all this corroborating data about the claims you're making, I think that's where the picture comes. I'm not an intelligence officer, neither are you. But I bet you guys could figure out none of these things that people are saying are the debunking aspects. Nobody would believe that. If all we got was a video, I wouldn't believe it. It's compelling. I mean, these are obviously compelling. What the freak? But if that's all we got, I wouldn't believe it. If we got one video if I talk to one person, when you talk to 40 people over 4 years, bring those people to the Inspector General, the Intelligence Committee's Inspector General, to the Intelligence Committee, and you present evidence to them, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is real. That's not hearsay. That's literally chain of command. You reporting the proper chain of command in order to get something investigated. They go, but see, it's just all secondhand information, dude. You need to go to the local dispensary, get yourself some OG Kush, okay? Just get the OG Kush. Trust me, bro. I'm not saying I know this from personal. I'm just saying, get that OG Kush, get you a little sublingual, okay? Dr. Solomon's. Again, I don't know nothing about that, all right? I just heard about it. And then I want you to go home, buy you some Cheetos from the store, get you some Cheetos. You know what I'm saying? Buy you some Sprite, maybe a Dr. Pepper if you like that thing, if you're into it. Go home, have a little, puff, do a little bit of that, and within 10 to 15 minutes, your perspective will change. You might not see aliens, but at least when you're looking at these things, that stress you feel, that feeling, that trauma from when you were a little boy and thought the aliens were coming to get you will subside. And when that subsides, then you'll be able to see clearly. See what I'm saying? Just gotta try it.
Testimony most interesting on the program that he was a part of, on about UAPs, on about how he believes contractors are involved in that reverse engineering technology. I think that's where I would like to continue to pull that thread with him.
No, we absolutely need to.
Yeah,
no, we need to do it. Thank you for joining me on the call for a special select.
Well, AOC. My gosh, that woman. Oh, this is Tim Burchett calling AOC a friend. I never thought I'd see this day. I'm gonna retweet this just because like the wholesomeness of this moment right now. By the way, Tim Burchett, he seems like such a nice guy. He seems like he's such just a sweetheart. Like he's a kind dude. He was on a News Nation interview yesterday where he argued with this lady about the Hunter Biden crap, and she just like laid into him, and I thought she was disrespectful. I thought she was being rude, and he handled it. I cannot do anything but respect how he ended that, how respectful he was, how kind he was. Even at the when she was being totally rude, he handled it. He probably was calling her all kinds of N-words at the end of when he was off the mic, but at least on camera, he was a gentleman, and I give him props for that.
This whole UAP discussion by just stating the obvious, which is that people don't trust the government. And why would you? I mean, a lot of our budget is like 5 defense contractors in a...
Nope, Bryson, you're right. I'm sorry. That was CNN, because he called her out. He's like, no, you're from CNN, ma'am. I know what your political, view is, whatever. You're right. Bryson said it was CNN. It was CNN, not News Nation. I've been watching so much News Nation, I blended that. But you're right. Thank you for that, Bryson.
A trench coat asking for $1 trillion. So, when you don't have universal health care, but you spend $800 billion a year that can't pass an audit, I don't trust it either. That's why I sit on the oversight committee. But all of that is to say, whatever I say, I'm aware that there are going to be people probably fighting over it, or deciding to trust it, deciding not to trust it. But that's just the general disclaimer.
Okay, I just want to play that one part. I'm not going to play this whole 11 minutes because it's not on the level that we are. I mean, no offense, but she's not deep into ufology, so this has nothing to do with it. It's just about oversight. It's all about oversight. And honestly, the fact that AOC is in unison with the idea that the government is not on your side kind of thing, we got to be careful. Dude, guys, gals, demigods, non-binaries, this is fantastic. We're at an inflection. We're past the inflection point. We're past the precipice right now. Yeah, Bryson, it is. It's a lot of filler. Oh my gosh. Really? I would love to see Jordan Peterson have this conversation. Oh, that would be so much. Oh, that would be so good. That would be so good. Check it out. Ryan Graves on Fox News, of course. They do not have the proper safety channels to report, and that's really something I'm looking to push for. All right, again, decorated pilot Ryan Graves. Very intelligent speaker. He knows his stuff. He speaks very specifically and eloquently. Dude's on point. Dude is on point, all right? Mick West. If there's truth, then where's the data? Ryan Graves collects the data. Well, not that data. What data? I've got ufologists. All right? We have got ufologists saying that Ryan Graves is a grifter. Thank you, Nicole. By the way, what's up, Nicole Sackage? What's up? Keeping it 100 in the chat. You know what I'm saying. The Armenian dude just wants a good reporting system. Is there anything wrong with that? Ufologist, yes, because he didn't say he wants to bring in the experiencers. Guys, they're not ready for the experiencers yet. I'm an experiencer, okay? I'm not ready to tell. They're not ready for this conversation. They're not ready for it. They're not ready. What are you talking? Stop the whole process. Why? Because they didn't lead with the experiencer phenomena. Really? Seriously? What would happen if they did? It would stop the process. Do you still want to do it? Yes. What? There are people that want to burn this whole thing down in ufology. They want to burn it all down. Oh my gosh. A part of me hopes we don't even get disclosure, just so we can give the middle finger to all the people that have been rejecting this process. This is your fault. This is your fault. The other part of me says, nah, I want them to eat their words. I want them to eat their words. Because guess what, guys and gals and demigods and non-binaries and furries? You know what happened? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what happened, all right? What happened was this. This is all a sham. This is all fake. This isn't real. They're all trying to make money. This is all a scheme for money. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, it's not real. Congressional. Nothing's going to happen. They're never going to get they're never going to be able to tell their truth. They're never going to be a blah, 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 blah. Congressional hearings come out a couple days ago. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe there's some. Maybe. Before this, by the way, oh, David Grush is lying. He's not telling the truth. Oh, look at him. I can tell his body language. Oh, he's got autism. Oh, he's got Asperger's. Oh, this. Oh, okay. Then weeks and weeks pass. Nobody refutes Ryan or David Grush. Nobody. Not one person. Not one person had anything bad to say about David Grush, except for ufologists. He's just trying to make money. Look at him on News Nation, the random news station that I've never heard of. None of us have heard of News Nation. Nobody's heard of News Nation. Nobody. They go to News Nation, a nobody news station, and like, look, they're trying to make money. By going to nobody News Nation, oh, it's a government op. Then why wasn't it on the New York Times? Then if it's a government operation, why is it not on the New York Times? Oh, it's just because. Oh, it's because they're trying to make money. They're trying to make money off of what? The threats of to their life, to their career, to their family? What kind of ridiculously stupid arguments are these? Oh, but when it comes out that it's unimpeachable. Okay, yeah, okay. So maybe he's telling the truth, but he thinks it's the truth. It's not real. He just thinks it is. Congressional hearings come on. Okay, maybe he did report those to the IG. Okay, yeah. Well, nobody else has. Where are the other witnesses? 40 witnesses he sent to the IG. Okay, maybe he did. Now we're on the side of Arrow? Now we're listening to Susan Gao and accepting that? Ufologists, do better. Ufologists, do better. UFO community, do better. Do better. Raise up and do better. You're failing people. You're failing the human race. You're failing the community. You're failing. And because I'm a very small channel, I can say these things. Because nobody's listening to me but you guys. So it's okay. It's okay to get a little hostile, if you will. Guys, they need to do better. They need to do better. They are doing a disservice to humanity when they fight against the process of disclosure. No, Nicole, I will agree with you on that social media ufology is different than researcher ufology. But let me tell you something, Nicole. Researchers are on social media. There are plenty of researchers on social media. Joe Merja, who you work with, excellent guy, all over Twitter. I follow him intimately. Respect the crap out of his efforts. The man is legit. He's one of the top gun out there, right? Of researchers. But he's on the right side of history. Joe Merja is on the right side of history. I'm not going to name the ones that aren't on the right side of history because I'm not going to go there. But I can say that Joe Merja is on the right side of history. At this point, from what I see. I mean, I'm gonna. You call it what you want. I'm making noise. I'm making noise, Nicole. But I will. I'm going to speak against anybody. I'm going to speak out against anybody creating the narrative that this is fake. This is a psyop. Not the chat. Chat, you guys are allowed to have that perspective. You're allowed to have that perspective. Because again, everybody, there needs to be different perspectives anyway. But you're not influencing the masses like some of these researchers are. That's my position here. The Mac Geek says the people against the process of disclosure can't win. This is too big now. UFO sightings will continue. Better pictures, videos will be released. The problem is, it's like when you watch that movie, The Mist, and you got that religious chick who's like, "You guys deserve this. The mist is our friend. The mist wants to look at it eating people. It's because of what you humans have done to them. You deserve it. You're all heathens." Right? You're all heathens. That's why you're getting all of these bad things happening to you. These giant bugs eating people. It's because you're heathens. This is ufologist today. You're all heathens. That's why it's like that. Oh, the great mist is here to change the world. That's what ufologists are like. Aliens are coming down here, or non-humans or whatever, coming into our dimension or in space, whatever, messing with our pilots, going to Brazil and shooting people with laser beams, literally. Guys, 1970s, Project Saucer. Look into it. 1970 Brazil, Project Saucer. Look into it. All right? Thank you, Garioki. Look into everybody needs to look into the 1970 report by the Brazilian government called Project Saucer, and tell me that aliens are not here to F some ish up. All right? No, the U.S. is way more has better defenses. Brazil does not. They are taking advantage of that vulnerability. You want to play this game where it's like, they're here to save us. Look at I see the light. Oh my gosh, I can feel its warmth. I can feel the warmth of its light deep inside of me. That ain't the warm light, lady. That's a probe, man. I'm sorry. All right. Let me get back to this.
Whose lives depend on accurate identification are frequently witnessing these phenomena. Parts of our government are aware of more about UAP than they let on, but excessive classification practices keep crucial information hidden.
All right, Ryan Graves kind of jolted the world, certainly in Washington, where they were looking at very real evidence that aliens not only...
I'm saying that there is at least one of them that has committed hostile actions towards humans. It does not mean that they are just hostile. Maybe, they're trying to. Maybe there's still some kind of an acclamation. I'm trying to be balanced here, guys. I can't justify the assault. I can't justify the inappropriate behavior towards children. I can't justify the taking people out of their homes. I can't justify the literal destruction of the literal offensive maneuvers that they're performing against the Brazilian pilots and have for decades. Okay, I can't dismiss the fact that they've been toying with the American nuclear facilities, but like no one else. Turn off ours, but like during the Cold War, they're turning off our nukes. What about everybody else? What about everybody else? They're turning on Russia's nukes? That's not a friendly, benevolent action, man. They turned on nukes in Russia. Again, they turned them off because they want us to know how bad they are. They turned them on. What was their intention then? I mean, you got to look at. There's a lot of data out there that says the exact opposite. And let me just tell you something. If you wanted to infiltrate a civilization, how would you do it? By tricking a certain number of the population into thinking that you're their friend, get them on your side. When you slowly gain their trust, those people, while simultaneously you're attacking others who are keeping those things secret for your sake, for your mentality. Now you believe that they're all benevolent. The people that are involved with the malevolence are not thinking that. They're trying to tell you, but you're saying, nope, they're all friendly, and I don't believe you. Now you're fighting against the people. Like, that's exactly what's happening. They have literally done a disinformation campaign on the human race, where they've convinced a very significant portion of the population into thinking that, you know how we took you and gave you a baby and then left you with nothing but trauma? We did it because we love you. You're special. You're special. You're a star child. I love you. See you later. You sound like my uncle. He would tell every girl he ever dated that stuff. The same thing. He'd tell him to say, girl, you're my star child. All right? I love you. All right. See you later. Only he didn't take the baby. At least he left the kid. Flashiest, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Nicole, if humans are doing that, Nicole, if they've been doing it since 1960, Nicole, you better bring your A game. Girl, you better bring your A game, all right? You better bring that. I like that you're cleverly wording that comment. We got to be sure. I mean, it was a ball of light, Nicole, in the 60s. That shut down on nuclear, that literally baffled the engineers. Do you know what it takes to become an engineer? They baffled the engineers, okay? They baffled them with what they did, turning off each nuclear warhead that's independently from each other. They turned them all off, 1 second after the next second after the next second. Impossible to do. It's impossible. They do this, and it's us in a ball of light. We had ball of light. We had orb technology in the 60s. In the 60s? Listen. Anything is possible, Nicole. I'll give you that. I will entertain the anything is possible, philosophical pontification. But my pontification is that if we had that tech and we haven't used it in mother freaking 80 years, I'm sorry, that's not correct. 60 years? 60 years, Nicole? Are you kidding me? We found these ancient godlike technology, then 20 years later we figured out how to operate them. Less than 20 years later, now we got orbs. Roswell, New Mexico, we got 1933. If we go back to 1933, okay? We found a flying saucer or bell or whatever. I don't know what it was. I didn't remember the specifics of that. We find this. They give it to us sometime. 1945. Trinity. They're doing nukes in the Trinity site. This crash happens, and it's us in the 60s. We find godlike technology and we figure it out in 30 years? Seriously? Bob Lazar was right. He posted... For the sake of I want to, come on, you're going to do this to me? I know y'all seen this. In the 70s, this man came forward to whistleblow.
And I'm Bob Lazar, and we're in Montreal on the set of Project Gravator. 2 days ago was a congressional hearing in Washington, D.C., which is making news around the world. And if you had one comment to say, Bob, on this congressional hearing, what would it be? I told you so.
You're telling me that Bob Lazar said that we were trying to reverse engineer this stuff in the 70s. We couldn't even figure it out. We would shelve it for decades because we were like, we don't know how this stuff works. But it was us in the 60s? This is why I can't follow this train of thought. I get the Tesla thing. I get it. But what you're doing is you're saying that, like, these beings have been around for thousands. Why would we have fought the Cold War if we had Tesla's technology? Are you guys thinking about what you're saying here? Think about what you're saying, okay? Think about what you're saying. We've had the tech for hundreds of years, but like we haven't. We just didn't know how to use it in the Cold War. Every single one of our pilots has no idea what's happening. Every single one of them. Y'all better bring your A game. I hope people are listening to this, and I hope you're making your own assertions with this, because I can't believe I love y'all. I can't believe y'all are bringing this level of argument to me right now. I am flabbergasted.
Right now, Ryan, the reaction you got was one of shock and awe. I think of Nancy Mace and others who.
Has anybody ever come forward to say, I've seen craft that we reverse engineered that operates just like the UFOs? Or do they all come forward and say, we can't figure this stuff out? From Jacques Vallée to Gary Nolan, from Bob Lazar to Bob Salas, and I know we're different types of people. Bob Salas worked on the nuclear base where we saw the orb fall from the sky, and then the whole base saw this. They're like, what the heck's going on? Shuts off their nuclear weapons and then takes off in the sky. Boom. It's us? We're testing this on our own stuff? We're risking national security for our own stuff? We could have used this stuff against Russia, against China, against Soviet Union back in the day, if you will, against in Afghanistan, but we kept it. But we're gonna use it on ourselves? Y'all are not. Y'all. Bring that A game.
Who, almost couldn't respond with some of your revelations. A lot of others said, not true. It's not nearly as detailed or outlined as Ryan, presented it. What do you say?
Well, I think we can just reference the story that Representative Gates told during the hearing himself. Him and other representatives went down to an Air Force base in Florida to attempt to speak to various pilots who had reached out because they had been observing objects on their radars and on their camera systems that they couldn't explain, that they felt was a safety risk, and they were not in a position that they felt safe to be able to report that. In fact, it was reported that they felt more comfortable destroying those tapes than to sit through a potential very long debrief to discuss the issue.
You guys are doing something very interesting, okay? Nicole, Garioki, listen carefully. I love you guys. And gal. I love you too, okay? Guys and gal. Listen to me, okay? There's a lot of things that it could be, but based off of what? What are you basing your theory off of? I'm basing mine off of what every single trained expert who's ever encountered these phenomena says. Not off of what potentialities somebody pontificates about just flippantly. Like, oh, it could be, it could. Based off of actual first-hand witnesses. This is stuff that we don't even have the physics and engineering for. We don't even have it. We don't have it. These are people that worked for. Just yesterday, I saw an interview with a guy who worked for. I gotta pull this up. I got the video. I'm gonna pull it up here in a second. I'm gonna pull that video up for you guys. Who worked for one of those aerospace companies? I don't know if it was Lockheed or Northrop Grumman, but Newsmax asked each one of these companies, are they working on the UAP program? None of them answered. So they spoke to somebody who worked for one of the companies, aerospace companies, and he said, guys, this stuff is compartmentalized and we don't understand how it works. Now, Nicole, again, this is why I think that of all the people that have a different opinion, you challenge in terms of in the UFO community, you have the strongest arguments because it is a thought experiment. It is one we can think about and have this think about the potentiality of each one of these different things. There are so many things. Again, there are so many different directions we can go with possibilities, thought experiments. But what are we need to base our thought experiments off of reality and not potentiality only. It's possible that Nikola Tesla left us a breadcrumb of technology that could resemble this. It's possible that we could have advanced, some faction of people could have advanced, whatever. What sense would it make to do that and not use it for hundreds of years? Well, I should say over 100 years. What sense would that make? It would make. They want to be rich and they want to be powerful, but they're not. They're willing to blow up kids in Afghanistan and other countries. They're willing to starve out entire populations of people in villages on other nations. They're willing to literally pollute Americans' waters with lead and arsenic and all these other chemicals. They're willing to put chemicals that cause cancer to entire towns. Aspirin literally was selling a batch of a medicine that was giving people HIV or AIDS or whatever, and then sold it out overseas. They're willing to do this, but they're keeping this technology because they want power and to fit the status quo. They don't give a mother freak about the status quo. They put all this money into the Manhattan Project to blow up an entire freaking city. 2 of them. But they don't want to show their might. You guys, this thought experiment is failing. It's falling apart. They're not afraid to show their power. Hiroshima and Nagasaki can tell you all about power. They're not afraid. They're not afraid.
So this is something that pilots are dealing with. This is something that they do not have the proper safety channels to report. And that's really what I'm looking to push forward out of this conversation, this hearing.
Well, what struck me is when you referred to recovering non-human bodies. Could you explain that?
Well, that was the testimony of Mr. Grush under oath, and he sounded like he was prepared to present information related to that in a closed session to Congress. But from my personal experience, we were seeing objects on a daily basis that we couldn't attribute to any of our assets, our technology, or our capabilities. And right now, the commercial pilots that are dealing with this don't feel comfortable reporting it, and that's a problem.
Now, Ryan, there was
They don't feel comfortable reporting it because of the stigma that even the UFO community is creating stigma. Even the UFO community is creating stigma, guys and gals and demigods and non-binaries. Even they don't want to. They just don't want to talk about it. I do believe that we have tried to reverse engineer some of this tech. But we're talking about a phenomena that looks like that's displaying technology that in order to even create the technology, the amount of energy and engineering processes that would be required. By the way, the material that they're finding is created from outside of our solar system. Hello.
other presentations that looked at evidence of former aircraft, whatever you want to call it, and that we have these. We have even these non-human bodies. So what's wrong if the gig is up and all of a sudden they have to admit it and have to show people that? What would be the harm?
Well, I think that there is a process of declassification that would have to occur, and that it would have to consider very closely national security considerations. But with that being said, there is a process being put forward right now that's been attached to the National Defense Authorization Act of 2024, next year's NDAA, that states exactly this. It's called the Disclosure Act of 2023. It creates a review panel that will create a disclosure process that will review this information. It will determine whether it is a national security issue or not, and then it will disclose that information to the public. And so to your point, I think there are processes.
Bro, you just, come on, man. They needed like a mile-long hadron collider or whatever to produce 1 fraction of a second element 115, stable isotopes of element 115 for a free fraction of a second. There are beings that are creating the world with 250 isotopes. They're creating entire craft with that. We create a fraction of it for a fraction of a second, and you're like, it's possible. Y'all better bring a far better argument than that.
Being put in place right now to help people understand exactly what the government is seeing.
Very quickly, Ron, any thoughts of the possibility this could be stuff of ours or stuff of China's or Russia's, and we're attributing it to outside forces?
Well, right now, it's a conversation about uncertainty. We have to be diligent about what's flying in our airspace, whether that's China, our own assets, or something else. And it's just a matter of national security.
Got it. Brian, thank you very much.
Listen, I will admit, you guys have one thing that's, I want to read Flashiest comment here. If we're, where is that at? Multiple possibilities are possible all at once. And I heard you, Bad Daddy. When a soldier, what's up, y'all? Bad Daddy says, hold on, there's a lot of, these comments are going fast, y'all. Welcome, I appreciate the banter here. No, that's Bryson. Bryson said, why not both? Winter Soldier says they are both. It could be all, there could be a lot of possibilities. But when it comes to some of these behaviors, it is clearly one of two things. Either there's a non-human intelligence, which is way more likely. Okay, or I should say a non-conventional, an unknown intelligence. Okay, an unknown intelligence, I'll give it that. That is operating outside of what we consider our sovereign laws and understandings of sovereign nations, invading our airspace, literally doing what these pilots are saying is running reconnaissance on our military capabilities. And if you guys, you know what the danger of thinking that it's us is? The danger of that is leaving us vulnerable to what these pilots are saying is an obvious behavior of what they consider potentially consider prepping for the battlefield. Reconnaissance, testing weapons capabilities, testing defense strategies, seeing what our nuclear weapons capabilities are, seeing if they can control it, seeing what our pilots do under pressure, seeing what our pilots do whenever they're faced with a near collision, seeing what our pilots do under these different situations. They're literally at the very least, someone's running reconnaissance. And they're doing it from space. Sometimes being tracked from outer space, specifically from deep space. Listen to me. Sometimes they're being tracked from deep space, coming into our atmosphere. That's us? This is what I hear. If it seems like there might be a problem, it's probably us. If it seems like they're here to help us and slap our butt and tell us we're doing a great job, good job, soldier. Oh, it's probably the aliens. Because they're friendly, and we know they are, because if they wanted to kill us, they would have. Y'all have clearly never watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Sometimes they don't need to blow stuff up. Sometimes they need to keep us docile, thinking that they're our friends, so they can conduct their experiments on us. Kind of like what it seems like they're doing. But right now, they're doing something else. Again, read Project Saucer, 1970, Brazil. Please look at that report. Please. There's something else going on here. And again, if they're doing this stuff in Brazil, but they're laser beaming people, and I'm being facetious, but they literally were shooting people with lasers and killing them. Literally, craft. Oh, that must be the US. That must be us. We're probably doing that. Really? Maybe that's possible. Again, anything's possible. But if you're wrong, what are the implications of being wrong on that? So, yeah, Kirkpatrick is doing. I feel bad for Kirkpatrick, by the way. I'm with you guys. I can't wait for more evidence to come out, because when it does, you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, to be honest, guys, listen. Nicole knows what I'm talking about. I've talked to people that told me things that I don't believe it. It just sounds ridiculous. Sounds ridiculous. I've talked to people that have said some of the most ridiculous things. Seriously. The most ridiculous, where do you get, how do you come up with how do you live life believing something so stupid? I've talked to people like that, okay? Just to, But I've also talked to people of much greater credibility who have presented evidence and have corroborated their claims with other people who have information. And, I think I'm on the right track. Let's just put it that way. And I think you're going to find out, and I think that I think that a lot of people that are like, oh no, it could be us, it could be our technology, we may have discovered this stuff in the 1800s, maybe Nikola Tesla. I think when the truth comes out, you're going to be sadly disappointed. You're going to be sadly disappointed. I know it. I feel bad for people that are in such denial about the reality of this phenomena. I feel bad. I seriously feel bad for you guys. No, Sean Kirkpatrick is not going to be on Arrow for much longer. I appreciate that, Bad Daddy. You're one of the few. Not many people agree with me, by the way. Just so you guys know, a lot of people do not agree with me. But maybe you should listen to Eric Davis. Maybe you should listen to Jim Semivan. Maybe you should listen to Jacques Vallée. Maybe you should listen to any of the people that have written about this topic and investigated it for the last 50 years. Maybe you should listen to Stanton Friedman. Maybe you should listen to, just listen. Maybe you should read Project Blue Book. Read some of the accounts. I haven't read all of them. There's thousands. But read some of the accounts, some of the most interesting ones. Guys, you got to look at this from like a data-driven, not just like, oh, well, you know what? If I were an alien, why would I want to hurt someone? Oh, if I were an alien, the government's big and bad, and they've done bad things to us too, so it probably was the government. You guys, what does the data suggest? What do the witnesses say? What do the first-hand witnesses say? What do the scientists say? Okay, that's where you start. You base your opinions off, you start there, and then you say, okay, the data says this. The people collecting the data say this. Let's see if we can match that with what's happening. Oh, the data says this. The people that are producing they're writing about this say this. The people that are first-hand witnesses say this. The people that are involved with the program say this. And so let's see if we can look at their data and their research and their writings, and let's look at the phenomena and let's see what it does. Does it make sense? Don't do this. Wait a minute. Susan said that she had a happy experience. See, you don't know what you're talking about, Marquise. Guys, you can't be that simple with your thinking. You got to be more complex than that. You have to be. And I'm listen. I have fallen into the trap myself of liking someone and trusting them. I've fallen into the trap of liking a type of perspective because it makes sense to me. Like I believe in compassion for people that are less fortunate than myself. I believe that 100%. Some people don't. Some people think that homeless people should be, deleted from existence with a laser beam from Minecraft. Some people believe that. I think that those people are horrible human beings. Okay, I believe that. I think that if you think that homeless people should be deleted from existence, you're a horrible human being. You're a horrible human being. Okay? Period. Now that's my perspective. Am I wrong? Well, who knows if they're actually horrible human? I think that's a horrible take. That's a disgusting, to your point. Yeah, it's disgusting to have that, right? But a lot of people have it and they don't talk about it that much in public. And I've talked to some of those people. Some of them. They share opinions with people that are so influential they could change the opinion of millions of people overnight with one YouTube video. And let me tell you something. That's the problem. The Mac Geek says, just like the Earth is a big place and everything's different, ETs could all have different intentions. Precisely. You're right. There are obviously more than one type of intelligence. There is obviously more than one type of intelligence engaging humanity, and they are engaging us. They're not non-interventionalists because they're not non-interventional. Don't be stupid. You can't intervene in human affairs and then say, I'm just a non-interventionalist alien looking just for scientific exploration. Where's the nearest Taco Bell? Can you tell me where the nearest intergalactic Taco Bell is, please? I'm just a non-interventionalist. While they're dropping after they go to the intergalactic Taco Bell, they're dropping deuces on planet Earth. Right in your bedroom. No, they're taking you out of your bedroom to drop a deuce on you. Then putting you back and saying, you're special. You're a starseed. I love you. See you later. Wait, I'm a star. What does that mean? The truth is within you. Bye. Wow, I'm a starseed. I'm gonna meditate on that. Right. I'm sure they'll figure it out. What's up, Lex? What's up, Lex Diaz? I'm sure you'll figure it out. My gosh. People. Millie Ways, the restaurant at the end of the galaxy. Thank you, Nicole. Guys, you've been grushed. I feel bad for Kirkpatrick because people are gonna. I don't want people to assault him, but, and there's no but. I don't want anybody to assault him. I think that he knows he messed up. It's what's done is done. Okay. We got to check out this Yuri. Uri Geller's been making some really, like, interesting claims. Check it out, y'all.
The museum. And hi, my dear friends. I'm now in the dungeon of the museum. And this is kind of my cloak and dagger room. These are all the tests and experiments that were conducted on me, not only in the CIA, but in different places around the world. Believe it or not, even in Russia. And here, this is an amazing photo. Here I am at the Lawrence Livermore Radiation Labs, where they build nuclear bombs. They basically wanted to know if my mind can trigger a nuclear weapon. Many interesting things here. Here I'm influencing Yuli Vorontsov to sign the Nuclear Arms Reduction Treaty. I'm here with Al Gore and Senator Claiborne Pell, Ambassador Max Kempelman. But anyhow, these are all my phones and all the items that I collected throughout the years, but this is an interesting one. Look, this is the time Dr. Werner von Braun shows me a little piece of a UFO, and this is where he takes me and puts me into his limo, and we drive to a refrigerator room, to a concrete building, and he shows me aliens. I've seen aliens with my own eyes. Now, this is the camera. This is actually the camera that my brother-in-law had, which took the pictures. It's a spy camera commissioned by the CIA. Take pictures like this. And with this camera, I photographed what I've seen. The films, which were kept in this box, most of them were stolen from me in my 521 East 57th Street apartment in New York. Anyhow, somebody doesn't want the truth out. I will find the negatives. Mark my words, be patient. It'll take me time. And this is a Mossad camera, also Mossad commissioned. And yeah, this is basically an incredible room. Let me show you a little more. This is the Concorde, Jeff Bezos, me and Bezos and his rocket, Richard Branson. This is a plane we flew together in the inauguration flight of Virgin Atlantic almost 35 years ago. This is fascinating because that book, Uri, is basically about my encounters with extraterrestrials since I was a child. And this book was very difficult to publish, but it was Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis who convinced Doubleday to publish the book. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but you know, Twitter, span of attention is very short. I love you all. Soon, big revelation.
I want to know what he knows. I want to know what he knows. I just want people to see this. I don't know. I mean, we can't prove any of this stuff. There's none of this stuff can be proven. None of this stuff. Let's see what John Greenwald does. Let's see his grift. Let's check out the grift of Greenwald. The Greenwald grift. The Greenwald grift. Yesterday, the Pentagon sent confirmation to me. Do I really need to say it, guys? Do I really? Bad Daddy, you are correct. And that's all I'll say about that. John Greenwald is in real-time grifting. Tokyo grifting. This is the Greenwald grift. That's called the Greenwald grift, baby. Would you like to hop into my ride? Sir, you're driving a Prius. Yesterday, the Pentagon sent confirmation to me. You mean the people that have been blocking Congress people from seeing anything, that have been refuting all of the claims made by the whistleblowers who say that the Pentagon and the DOD are blocking everything? Yesterday, those people gave me, John Greenwald, and others, the Dr. Kirkpatrick statement published was definitely his. To me, it was already confirmed to my satisfaction prior to this, but it's nice to have additional supporting evidence. What do you think that means? What do you think that means? That means he's on Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick's side. Maybe I'm wrong. This is what the Pentagon had to say. The department is aware of Dr. Kirkpatrick's posts, which are his personal opinions expressed in his capacity or as a private citizen, and we won't comment directly on the contents of the post. We do want to reinforce the department's unwavering commitment to openness and accountability to the American people and Congress. John Greenwald, are you freaking kidding me? Dedicated military service members, civilian personnel, and federal contractors who support Arrow's effort. Federal contractors, huh? Who support Arrow's efforts are deserving of the full confidence of our lawmakers and the American people. While much remains to be done to fulfill Arrow's mandate, which it has not fulfilled and has not even really acted on anything right now, they're not doing jack-ish. Arrow's commitment team has made great progress, but not shown it to the American people. Where's your progress at? What progress have you made? What progress? We don't have anything yet. No, there's no really good reporting system. Yes, we've dismissed 24 witnesses. Yes, we've lost the confidence of all the first-hand witnesses. Dude. This is literally the same Susan gal that... You know, I'm not saying that they're dating, but... If I were a betting man... I'm just kidding. I don't think they're dating. I don't think that John Greenwald would have a chance. But this is what blows my mind about this guy. This is what blows my mind about this guy. Nicole, I don't know what you mean by that. Yesterday, the Pentagon sent confirmation to me and others. To me, it was already confirmed to my satisfaction prior to this. But it's nice to have additional supporting evidence. This is not the first time that John Greenwald has been quoting Susan Gao like a fanboy. Every time she comes forward with a statement, guys, the Department of Defense and the Pentagon are not on your side. Can I get it through your thick mother freaking skulls? They're not your buddies. They're not. Since when did the Pentagon and the DOD become the buddies of the UFO community? Since when? Whistleblowers come forward and tell us that we got aliens. I don't trust them. I trust the people that say there are no aliens. What? Nicole, there are other people that are professional in the field that are not quoting Susan Gao every time there's something goes on. There are other people, Nicole. There are other people. That's it. That is a dishonest. That's not a dishonest statement. You're right. 20 years of contacts and being a professional. Then why is he always quoting people that are against disclosure? Why? I bet that there are plenty of people. George Knapp has well over 20 years of experience in investigating the phenomena. He ain't over here talking about Susan Gao is my buddy. Look what my buddy Susan Gao said. She sent it to me. Yes, but with that quote should be added context to your perspective. If you do that, you're being dishonest. You're intentionally being vague, and you're leaving room for interpretation because again, John Greenwald does this all the time, Nicole. He does it all the time. Well, look, we just had this hearing, but Susan Gao said. Oh yeah, but we just had all these people, these whistleblowers come forward. But Susan Gao said. You're not stating untruth. You're saying the truth right now. But do you want disclosure, Nicole? Do you want disclosure? Do you want people to know the truth about non-human intelligence? Do you want them to know that we're not alone in the universe? Or do you want to quote Susan Gao and emphasize her quotes without any context about what she is, who she is? I mean, come on. Like, if there were a random charlatan, okay? Random. Let's just say there's a guy named, I don't know, Given Steer, okay? Given Steer. There's a guy named Given Steer, and Given Steer is just lying his butt off about all kinds of stuff, okay? Given Steer says, I've talked to all the presidents, I've briefed them myself, I've talked to all the witnesses, I coached them on what to say, I gave them the documents that they have, I told them everything that they need to know, and then I go and I quote, see, look what Given Steer said. See, it seems good to me. What am I doing? What am I doing? I am responsible for doing that because somebody who doesn't know about this topic thinks that it's an official statement from the Pentagon backing up the comments made by Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, who removed his post off Twitter not too long after he posted it. What am I doing here? What are we doing here, Nicole? Are we oh yeah, he has his own opinions. No. We have to address these types of things, or else we leave an opening for people to misinterpret what's really happening here. We have a responsibility, Nicole. We have a responsibility to make sure that there's clarity in these situations. That people that trust us to investigate this topic, they have clarity. We have a responsibility to the American people, to the world, to our viewers, to bring clarity to stuff like this. John Greenwald has been parroting, not just quoting someone, parroting, giving credence to, giving credibility to Susan Gao's comments since Lou Elizondo came on the scene. Only to be proven wrong about Elizondo. Elizondo was vindicated. They did an investigation on that. He's vindicated. No ill will here. Forget about opinion. The fact is Elizondo was telling the truth. Elizondo was vindicated. Elizondo is not what John Greenwald said. John Greenwald spent 3 hours of his opinion smearing Elizondo, suggesting that he's literally a counter, that he's selling secrets, that he's a traitor to the United States of America. He suggested that you're going to tell me about opinions? His opinion is against disclosure and for the Department of Defense in the Pentagon. Guys, I want the audience to tell me now. Are you on the side of human history that's pushing for disclosure, or are you the side of human history that's pushing against it? If you were me, would you go and say, "Well, guys, I got to tell you about what Susan Gao said, and I think she's right," knowing that Susan Gao said there's no credible evidence of any of the stuff that's being said right now. It's not true. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. That's what she's doing. Anti-disclosure Susan Gao is who we're going to quote and give no context, but it's nice to have additional supporting evidence. I'm satisfied. This is to my satisfaction. This is what we need to address. This, to me, it was already confirmed to my satisfaction. He is a journalist, a 20-year journalist, 20-year investigator. Your words matter. And if you're telling people that Susan Gao has satisfied you, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. He's over here with these eargasms. He's having Susan Gao speaks and oh crap. Oh, what's wrong, Mr. Greenwald? I just had an eargasm. Why? What do you mean? Why? What do you mean? Susan Gao just emailed me a statement about disclosure being fake. It is our responsibility, Nicole. It's our responsibility. He's retweeting Alejandro Rojas's comment. Come on, man. Really? Alejandro Rojas is down with this? Nicole, do we fight the process? Do we fight the process? guys, gals, demigods, non-binaries. I don't even know how. You guys are challenge. You're making me a better person. You're making me a better Nicole. You're making me a better man. I feel like I'm becoming a better man. I'll tell you right now, I'll never win an argument against a woman. I've tried. Oh, okay. Karaoke. If you got karaoke's right. Hey, if you guys would like to support me, here's my GoFundMe. Hold on one second. Okay, hold on. If you guys would like to support my channel, if you would like to, here's my. Hold on one second. I'll do that. You're right, karaoke. GoFundMe. Got it. I keep forgetting. I don't. How often should I do that? I mean. Here's my GoFundMe. You guys can, of course, donate to my GoFundMe. It helps me out. Obviously, helps me be able to keep the show going like this. Stuff like that. So, okay. Now, what I mean, Nicole, is this, okay? What I mean is that we have congressional hearings, bipartisan support, legislation being created, the organizations and institutions being challenged for the sake of finding out the truth about non-human intelligence and non-human technology on this planet. Are you going to fight against that process? Are you going to fight against it? That's what I mean. I don't care what people are speculating. The reality is we are getting the process of disclosure now. Official, on the record, under oath disclosure, and people are fighting against it. What is happening? What is happening? The Senate, it appears, has passed the UAP Act of 2023 as part of the Defense Authorization Act, assuming the language makes it into the final version. This will declassify docs related to I don't know what TUO technologies of unknown origin and evidence of non-human intelligence. We're getting this now. We're getting this now. And we're going to fight against it? This is what... We didn't get anything out of the UFO hearings anyway. Oh, we didn't get... What came out of it? Legislation! People speaking under oath. Whistleblowers coming out under oath, speaking about about non-human intelligence under oath in front of the public, in front of the whole world. One of the biggest events that's ever been done. Bigger than the Greer event, where he brought in the kooks and the good ones at the same time. And we're fighting against it. Nicole, why is it important? Because maybe you haven't encountered these people like I have, okay? Maybe you haven't, but I've encountered too many ufologists who quote Greenwald and his quotes of Susan Gao, who quote Greenwald as a credible actor in the disclosure movement when he's really an anti-disclosure guy. He just is. He doesn't even believe he doesn't even believe there's aliens. He doesn't think there's aliens. He's almost as big of a skeptic as McWest is. And yet here we are, we're going to give this man credit? Oh, he's a journalist for 20 years? Nicole, George Knapp is a journalist for 30 plus years. That's who we should be giving credit to. That's who we should be respecting the efforts of. Susan Gao gave that quote to other people, and I posted the letter that Sir Kirkpatrick wrote. But you know what I didn't do? Yay, good job, Susan Gao. You delighted me. I'm pleasured by what you just said. Yeah, good job. I already knew this, and now that Susan Gao said it, it's evidence to the... That's why. You know what language does to people. I've been through John's history. And what he said even 5 years ago is nothing like what he says today. He is a different man. He is a very different man. You cannot do that. There are too many people that are doing this thing today, where 5 years ago they were socialists. They believed in humanity. They believed in helping people. They believed in taxing the rich. They believed in fighting for social rights. They believe whatever that means. I'm not talking about SJWs. I'm talking about real stuff, not like stupid stuff. I'm not talking about you hurt my feelings, so I'm gonna sue. No. I'm talking about real social problems that everybody, black, white, and everything in between faces. And now all of a sudden, shoot the homeless people in Minecraft. I'm talking about that, Nicole. Grifters. People that at one time, oh, I love UFOs are real. The dude has an entire website with UFO documents, then comes on and says, I think it's all ours. I did see that. We're gonna the Mac Geek. Thank you for bringing that up. We're gonna watch that now. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I watched that yesterday, and yes, we need to see this, guys and gals and demigods. Wait. I think this is wrong. Are we on the right? I think we're on the right. Yeah, we're on the right thing.
I decided as the head of NASA, since there's so much suspicion about aliens,
Yo decidí como administrador de la NASA, ante todas las sospechas que hay con el tema del...
Guys, you know that he knows. Look at that smirk.
de los extraterrestres,
that I would appoint a committee of very distinguished scientists
que designaría un comité integrado por científicos muy distinguidos.
That committee is deliberating, and they will make their report publicly next month.
Ese comité se encuentra deliberando actualmente y va a dar a conocer su informe.
We'll be here, y'all. I will be here for that day, live.
De manera pública el mes que viene.
Now, I can tell you in the meantime, until you hear their report,
Pero mientras tanto, les puedo decir que hasta que tengan acceso a ese informe,
and they will consider using our sensors in space.
This is where I hope they don't consider it. Do it. Get it done, my guy. I believe in you.
Our scientific sensors in trying to determine this phenomenon.
que van a utilizar sensores, detectores, nuestros equipos en el espacio para tratar de identificar precisamente estos fenómenos.
So wait until next month and you'll have an answer.
Así que esperen al mes que viene y ahí va a estar la respuesta.
Oh, he knows. Look at that. He might be a reptilian. I'm just kidding. Wait a minute. I think his eyes just closed sideways. I'm kidding, guys. Don't you dare take that seriously. Don't you dare. I'm assuming he's talking about the NASA's efforts to investigate UAP, to study UAP, but I don't know. He didn't clarify. Obviously, the scientists that he's appointing to this committee, like it would be this, if he just said that he's going to appoint a group of scientists, the top scientists, to review the sensors to be able to determine what these objects might be, and then we'll have our answer next month. So I'm based off of what he said, I'm assuming that the people using the sensors will be the scientists that he appoints to the committee. That's how you do logic. That's how you do it, y'all. If Avi Loeb did, he would deny it. He would deny his own eyes. He would deny his own data. He would say it's all a trick. It's all camera flares. It's not real. Guaranteed. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Indeed it is, sir. Post-Disclosure World says, It's wise to keep the UFO issue bipartisan. Otherwise, we're cutting our nose to spite our face. I'm not alone with the idea that disclosure would have a very positive impact on human psychology, and from here, other benefits can flow, not to mention potential tech breakthroughs. I would hope that that's what we get out of it, but I don't think that's what we're gonna get out of it, y'all. Guys, listen to me. Guys and gals and demigods and non-binaries. We won't make it. We're not human. The human race is not gonna make it past. I mean, maybe we will. I hope we do. I hope we do. But I don't think we're gonna make it, because we're too stupid to figure this stuff out. We're too stupid to not destroy our own selves. That's why. Forget about alien and destruction. We're gonna destroy ourselves before this ever happened. Before anything. My gosh. I feel like there was something else I wanted to show you guys. I feel like there was something else. What am I missing here? There was one other thing I wanted to bring up. Let me see if I can find it here. I know there was. Flashiest, I tell you what, man. I hope, male or guy or gal, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Just doesn't seem like that's the case. But we'll see, you know? We will see. We will see. My gosh, guys. I think this is it. Yeah, I think this is it. I think. Is this it? Let me just go through this. Hold on. Where's the dude? I'm looking for it, guys. There's something I want to show. Here we go. I got it. I think I got it. Yep, got it. All right, I'm bringing it up here. Check it out, y'all.
Well, it is the top of the hour here on News Nation. Now I'm Nicole Burley from our News Nation headquarters here in Chicago. Americans pressing for answers after a rare congressional hearing on UFOs from the House Oversight Committee. 3 former high-level defense officials testifying to lawmakers on their experiences with UFOs, with some hard to explain. It set off a new push by lawmakers as they investigate what the Pentagon knows and could be hiding from the American public. Correspondent Joe Khalil is live for us in Washington. And Joe, some of the claims from the hearing include the Pentagon could be housing crashed UFOs.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a really important part of this story, Nicole. So today what we did is we reached out to a couple of the most high-profile defense contractors in the country to see if they would answer the claims that were.
All right, here we go. News Nation is doing what journalists do. What's John Greenwald do? Susan Gao. Why am I calling him out? Why aren't you asking these contractors these questions? Why are you skeptical of all of the witnesses? Why are you skeptical of all the claims, but not of the contractors? Are you on the side of, I don't know, disclosure or the military industrial complex? That's why I call Greenwald out. News Nation is doing their due diligence. John Greenwald is not.
Were made against them. Those claims being that they may be housing or even taking part in reverse engineering of crashed UAPs or UFOs. Now, we currently don't have evidence to show that, but those were the heart of the claims that were made by David Grush and others, not just here on News Nation, but now under oath in that congressional hearing. It's a big deal. These defense contractors, they allege, are actually doing the work right alongside the government of keeping these UAPs.
This is a bipartisan effort. This is a bipartisan effort, especially now. Like, there's no, you know, what's TBV? What is that? What is TBV?
And working on the technology to try to replicate some of their capabilities. Now, we asked Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, General Dynamics, and Northrop Grumman. These are...
That's journalism. Oh, the Black Vault. John is doing John the Black Vault. But he's doing it. He's doing. Nicole. If I want to know if I want to know the truth about something, I don't focus heavily on all the things that are against the truth of something. That is a clear grift. That is a clear grift. That is an obvious. You know what? I study ufology and I'm fair and balanced and I'm a journalist. Oh, really, Mr. Greenwald? Who do you talk to? Everybody that says it's not real. Wait a minute, but your site says you're looking for truth. I am. So you're studying you're focusing heavily on the people that don't believe at all. Yeah, that's right. That's journalism. That's not journalism. That's called grifting. He's a mouthpiece.
The biggest defense contractors in the nation. We asked them point blank today, are they engaged in this type of activity that they're being accused of? So far, none have answered our requests for comment. So we turn to...
See, that's journalism. If Greenwald wants to find out the truth, these men are making claims about these aerospace companies that are working on non-human tech. Talk to the aerospace companies. Where's his tweet about the aerospace companies? Where's his tweet at, Nicole? Send me, please DM me a one tweet about the aerospace companies that are being alleged. And I don't mean saying questioning the witnesses. Question the people the witnesses are claiming are the problem here. That's he is obviously a mouthpiece for the Pentagon. He didn't used to be, but he is.
An expert who's been studying this stuff for quite some time, Ben Hansen.
Nicole, you just made my point. You just made my point. That's why I talk about this. That's why I talk about him and his content. He has plenty of people that support his opinion. Yeah. Oh yeah, they like him. They want to go to bed. Mommy, can you read me a bedtime story? But son, you're 35 now. You should be reading your own bedtime stories. Yeah, but mommy, please. I really want to hear that one story that John Greenwald wrote about the nice lady at the Pentagon who said that aliens aren't real. It makes me feel safe at night. Okay, Mickey. Okay, I'll read you the bedtime story, but this is the last time, Mick. You know, you gotta grow up now. And by the way, son, as much as I love you, you gotta move out of the basement. But mom, I really don't like being told that aliens are real because it scares me, and John Greenwald gives me another perspective. He's a journalist. Well, yeah, Mickey, but you should be reading these stories on your own because I like Jeremy Corbell and Lou Elizondo, but mommy, they told me that the aliens are coming. Oh, honey, don't you worry. They're not coming for you. Don't you worry, Mickey. Can you please tell me that bedtime story, Mom, like you promised? Okay, Mickey, but this is the last time.
He's familiar, we think, to some of our News Nation viewers here. He gave us some pretty interesting insight because he has actually spoken to people who've worked for those contractors. Here's what he told us today.
So the units of people working on this could be very small. I also know this is circumstantial, I guess it's not confirmed, but the way that this operates is that they will pull in people, for example, from across the country and different parts to work on it where they're not always perhaps housed in the same area. So one person will be working on one part of the team and they have no idea of the larger picture.
Compartmentalization. Once upon a time, there was a man named John Greenwald. He was a UFO investigator, and he always talked about how everybody that said there's aliens are wrong. They don't have any data, and their claims are all secondhand. And one day, he wrote to a woman named Susan Gao, who worked for the Pentagon. What's the Pentagon again, Mommy? Can you tell me? Okay, Mickey, the Pentagon is an institution created by the United States government in order to pretty much protect the United States. That means you, Billy. Oh, Mommy, they sound like such nice people. They are, Billy. Anyway, John Greenwald, 20-year investigative journalist.
And I have had whistleblowers come to me with little bits of the puzzle. And if you put the whole puzzle together, maybe you'll get the whole picture.
And when he looked at the whole picture, Greenwald said, well, when you separate each and every one by themselves and don't connect them at all, it's not what you think it is. But Mommy, I thought you're supposed to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Oh, don't worry, Mickey. It only depends on if you want the actual truth. But in this case, we don't want that, do we? No, Mommy, I don't want the truth if it's gonna scare me at nighttime. Oh, don't worry. Use your safety blankie, Mickey.
So look, these claims have been out there for some time, for years, that it is these defense contractors who actually have these UAPs who've tried to reverse engineer them. But again, read into the congressional record for the very first time.
But Mommy, I thought John Greenwald said that it's probably human tech. Oh, of course it is, honey. Well, even though that the news and the whistleblowers and all the data suggest that it's impossible for us to scientifically produce the kinds of technology that we're seeing operating with engaging our pilots, we still think it's ours. Just listen to John Greenwald. You're right, Mommy. It probably is ours. I mean, think about it, Mickey. If you look back when Nikola Tesla was alive, he had wireless electricity. He could light a light bulb up on the ground. Oh, see, Mommy? I knew we had intergalactic travel capabilities since Nikola Tesla. That's right, Mickey.
This week, and I want to give you just a quick recap of what we heard from that hearing.
You named Boeing contractors being engaged in an incident regarding this red cube about a football field wide. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about the interaction, or Mr. Grush, either of you, the interactions between defense contractor companies and any UAP-related programs or activities.
Certainly the contractors, are the metal benders, so to speak. They're the ones actually doing specific performance on government contracts.
Are they required to issue any disclosure regarding UAP sightings, or do they engage in any reporting around this?
In terms of the contractors,
Yes.
Not that I'm aware of.
They do not. Okay.
So, Nicole, another big
I'm happy to oblige, my friends. I'm glad you're entertained.
question, because these are big companies too. Who are they giving money to in Congress? That is something that we are going to keep our eye on, tracking that money, something that we're going to continue.
But Mommy, shouldn't he investigate the people that are being claimed to hide this stuff from the American people? Of course he should, Mickey, but we're gonna just wait for that one, okay? We're gonna focus on all the things that the Pentagon says. Don't you like that nice lady Susan Gao? Yeah, she makes me feel safe when I go to sleep at night. Okay, see, Mickey? That's why we listen to John Greenwald, okay? Okay, Mommy, I'm tired now. I feel safe. I think it's okay for me to go night-night. But, Mommy, one more thing. You know that thing that you did for me a long time ago? You mean when you were a baby, Mickey? I can't do that. It's really inappropriate. But, Mommy, it makes me sleep easier at nighttime. But, Mickey, I don't even lactate anymore. Shh, now, Mickey. Shh, now, Mickey. Hush, little baby, don't be afraid. Aliens are not going to invade. All right, guys. I just... Oh, I make myself laugh. Oh my gosh. I just made myself cry. With that, my friends, it has been a pleasure. I really enjoyed today. Oh my gosh. I enjoyed today. I had a great time. I hope you guys did too. I only do 2 hours on Saturday and Sunday, so in case you're new, I don't do the full 4+ hours on the weekends, but I do 4 hours on the weekday. We dive into all these things and I comment on them. You know what we do here. We just have a great time. We just talking about aliens, y'all. All I want to do is just I want these ideas to be challenged. I want my ideas to be challenged. That's what we have Nicole for, and Karaoke, and sometimes Darren, and definitely Platonic Zombie, and of course Drunk Physics. Okay, basically 90% of my chat is challenging me, and I appreciate that. I really do. So anyway, I'll check y'all tomorrow, same time, same place, 2 p.m. Eastern time, right here. Again, I really enjoyed today. Thank you. And if you, final note, if you guys want to, again, a GoFundMe is in the chat. It's all over the chat now. I'll put these in this. I'll put the GoFundMe in the Patreon in the description. If you would like to, I would appreciate it. And it does help me do what I do. I want to make this full time. I'm gonna keep saying this. I want to make this full time. I want to get a soundboard so that I can, when I do the voices and stuff, I want to be able to do voice changes so that I can make it a little bit more engaging and more comedy, stuff like that. It makes it a lot more believable when I do these different impressions. I want to do that for you guys. It's so much fun for me. It's fun for you guys, I hope. And so I really look forward to making this grow. I want this to grow. But I do need your help because this is literally what I do. This is all I'm doing right now. This is literally the main source of my income. And you guys have helped me already from the beginning of this, especially when I almost had to give up. You guys helped me keep this alive. I encourage you to please, if you can, support me with whatever you can on my Patreon, on my GoFundMe. And until tomorrow, my friends, I'll catch y'all right here on the airwaves. Dr. Doors out. Peace.